Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name's Lizzie and I'm a pet, family and wildlife portrait artist based in the UK, and I specialise in coloured pencils. If you're interested in stuff like that and other small business, arty, creative things, definitely feel free to subscribe to my channel, and I really hope you enjoy today's video. In today's video I'm going to teach you how to draw blue eyes. So the subject I'm drawing is Asteria. She's a wolf dog puppy. You can definitely use these same techniques for drawing blue cat eyes, or to be honest any other blue eyes. So I'll go through the pencils that I'm using, some alternative pencils you could use if you don't have the same pencils as I do, like the same brands, and then I will show you actually how to draw them. This here is the portrait. It's A3, so it's quite a big one. This is Asteria here, and you can see I've already filled in Oksana. So this is her mum, and she has the most gorgeous blue eyes, and they all do actually. So I'll just quickly show you my colour palette and then we can get straight into the tutorial. My combo, so these are the colours that I'm using, and they're all Caran d'Ache Luminance. There's got one Caran d'Ache Pablo here and Faber-Castells. I do have Derwent Lightfast in the alternatives. I do like them, I just feel they're slightly one step too dark. The first thing I'm going to do is just block in the highlight. So I like to go in with some white. I'm using the Caran d'Ache Luminance white pencil here, and I like to block it in first just so that it stays as white and as clean as possible. And I do go back in and layer over some blues and some purples, but this way none of the other pencil colour that I'm going to be putting around like smudges into it. So taking my Derwent Lightfast light aqua pencil, I'm going to fill in the entire eye. I'm using a really light pressure here and I'm just swirling the pencil around. With my Caran d'Ache Luminance 002, so this is silver grey, I'm also layering this on top. I'm keeping this towards where the shadows are, so I'm not touching any of the highlights with this one. It's just that one step darker than the Derwent Lightfast one that I've just put on. So I want to make sure that I sort of keep towards the edge of the eyeball and leave this middle centre here without any. I do put a tiny bit around the pupil though as well, because in my reference photo there is blue around this pupil. Next, taking my Caran d'Ache Pablo in 371, and this is Blue Pale, I'm going in again around the shadow. I'm just layering this one over the top. You can already see some depth here is starting to be created. And the nice thing as well with the Caran d'Ache Luminance pencil, it almost adds like a nice creamy base, so it slightly mutes all of the other colours that we put onto it, and I think that's quite good because it just means we can work at a slower pace, build the colour up, and it not be too bold and heavy right from the get-go. So in my reference photo there isn't too much turquoisey green, so this is light cobalt turquoise, Faber-Castell Polychromos 154 here. So I'm just going to stick this around in the highlights using really light pressure. It's not too turquoise, but it's not too blue, and it just adds that, it heightens the colour of the highlights, I find. Pop it around just a little bit in the shadow as well. We can go in now and start darkening up these shadows with the Caran d'Ache Luminance 661, so this is light cobalt blue. It's all about layering up the colours so you can create the depth. You certainly don't need to use all the colours that I'm using. I sometimes find that I pick out way more than I need, but I like experimenting now with adding slightly more colours than I would usually do, because I find that it really helps bring the subject to life. Taking my Faber-Castell Polychromos in Prussian Blues, this is number 246. I'm going back into the shadows as well and really making them a lot darker. This one is like super blue, so I don't use too much of this one because of all the colours that we've added before this one. It almost like increases the saturation, but that's fine because we will go back in and sort of dye down the vibrancy of this. But the Prussian blue is a really good one if you have really vibrant eyes. Pop a bit around the pupil as well. Blend that out. I'm now going back in with the silver grey colour, the Caran d'Ache Luminance, and putting this over what we've just put on, and it blends out that colour. I love going back in with the lighter colours because the eyes are obviously like quite glossy, and this just really helps blend everything together, and all of the layers of the pencil really add this nice sheen to the eyes. One reason as well I do them first, because they take the longest to do and they're the most important part to get accurate. So I'm actually taking a new colour here, just sharpening it. In my reference photo, there is part of this shadow that isn't so blue, it's almost grey. So I'm going in with the Caran d'Ache Luminance Payne's Grey. This is 30%, number 504. And this helps decrease that saturation of the blue that we've just put on. And it helps dull down that colour because her eyes aren't as blue and bright in this section here. I'll carry that over here as well into the shadow. Going back in with my Caran d'Ache Luminance whites and filling in the highlight area, blending out that colour. I think now we'll start to add some colour into the pupil as well with the Faber-Castell Polychromos Dark Indigo, so number 157. Fill in the pupil. I never go straight into the pupil with black. I like to build it up first with this dark indigo, and I'm not making it a complete harsh circle. I'm sort of doing a tiny circle in the middle and then blending it out, doing strokes like this, almost like you're drawing a sun, honestly, when you were a kid. And this helps blend that colour into the colours that we just put around the pupil. And then we can go back in with a black and deepen up the centre. I'm almost just like dotting the pencil on the paper at the moment. With the Polychromos, I don't even know how to pronounce that, but it's number 247. I'm going over this. This is one step lighter than the colour that we've just put on. I'm blending this more now into the iris because she has this lovely blue haze around her pupil. There we go. Not much is needed, to be honest, only a little bit. And then I can go back in with the dark indigo and just darken up that centre. Some of this is also actually needed up here in the shadows, so now that we've built up all the colour, we can go in with one of our dark shades and just darken up this top shadow, or anywhere that you see shadow on your reference photo. Again, I think I'm going to need to go back in with the slightly more grey blue colour, because in the reference photo it's definitely not as blue in this part here, in the shadows. With the black in the Polychromos, we'll start to put in the pupil. Just going into the highlight again with the Caran d'Ache Luminance whites, and I'm just going to blend out the edges because at the moment there's quite a harsh line on this highlight. And then we can start to add some detail into this light spot. So in my reference photo you can almost see a window in this bit here. So with the Luminance Payne's Grey 30%, I'm just going to carefully add in those little indentations, and then we can always go back and scrape away some of the colour because we've built it up so much. With my slice tool here, this is a super fine point scraper, and I use this for the tiniest details. We're just going back in and using this to scrape away some of the coloured pencils so we can add in those little highlight marks on the eye. I'm taking the Caran d'Ache Luminance, this is slate grey, and adding this into the shadow, just that bit darker to the areas where we've put the Payne's grey. Again, just blending that with my white Caran d'Ache. I really like using the Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils for the eyes because they're just so creamy and they're incredible when I want to blend. My favourite pencil to use for pupils is this Derwent Drawing Ivory Black, and it is super pigmented and it doesn't give off that shine like the Polychromos black does. So I love using this in the pupils, and I used it quite a lot as well on Oksana. You can see here it's just dead black and it is amazing. So we're pretty much done now, so I'm just going to line the eye, and for this I'm using the Faber-Castell Polychromos Dark Grey number 6, and it's 235. I don't go in, I think it's a bit of a sharpen actually, so I don't go straight in with black for around the eye, because that can sometimes be far too harsh. Obviously we'll darken it up as we go along, but just to begin with, lining it with a lighter colour than black. So this is why I like this. What colour is it called? Cold Grey number 6. Just bringing this all the way around, and also just filling in this little section here. Taking my time with this as well, because now that we've created the shape of the eye, I don't want to go in and start drawing into the iris, because we don't want to make it any smaller. Bring that up a bit here as well. Whoops. One problem with working with really sharp pencils is the ends snap off. It's very annoying when that happens. Now that this colour is on, we can go in with black. Just taking my time, using little strokes rather than we'll just create that edge with the black here. She is black all around her eye, so we can go in and make this harsh line because this is very dark here in the reference photo. So we leave it like that, and then just go in with the white and blend through there. That will create a lovely tiny little waterline. Here's a close-up of what we've just drawn, and I'm going to do the other one literally using the exact same techniques. And her eyes are finally done. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it and I taught well. I'm definitely thinking of doing some more drawing tutorials, different techniques and stuff that I use as a pencil artist. So if that's something that you would enjoy, definitely feel free to subscribe to my channel. Like the video if you did like it. I will link everything that I used in the description below, and you'll also find all the links to my socials, so my Instagram, my Facebook, my Etsy shop where I sell greeting cards at the moment, hoping to start selling some more stuff on there. My website that you can look at all the commission information if you do want to commission me, and also my business email if you do want to commission me and use email. So my commissions are open. You can either do the email or the inquiry form, or just send me a message on Instagram or Facebook. Either 4 options work. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll hopefully catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.